Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, we're gonna be finding out if I got scammed or not. Although really, I wouldn't say scammed because I didn't even pay $380 US, I think with the current exchange rate, for this SR20 DET that we found lying on its back at a junkyard in Okinawa, missing an oil pan. It seemed like everything's fine with it, but today we're gonna strip it down, open it up, see if anything's wrong with it, and see if we're gonna put it back together or send it off to the machine shop to get some stuff worked on. But that aside, something really funny that I've done is I've got a little bit of a prank set up for Riley. If you've been following the Altezza build stuff, you know that we got these two cars. Pretty much, I got my car I exchanged a Hydro for this car. It was pretty much free as far as I'm concerned. And then Riley got gifted this car, which is absolutely incredible. The story is amazing. If you remember, hashtag do it for Curtis. Now, that aside, if you've been following and watching us on the Twitch channel, you know that Riley's been doing a bunch of work on this, and also in the last video, we've put in his segment. Just want to say thank you as well for everyone who put in those nice comments for him. He's very, very gassed up and excited about all the good feedback he got. But something he's been complaining about is that his rear trunk latch wasn't working. Now, last night when I was doing a Twitch stream, I was like, let's fix this and do some troubleshooting and figure out why it wasn't working. Now, before I show you why it wasn't working, it's working. But I also wired in something a little funny so that when he goes to try it for the first time, he might get a little bit of a surprise. Let me show you. All right, so there's no horn on the 33.4 right now because I borrowed it off that for this, and I've just got the horn kind of sitting there and wired into the relay. But long story short, there was a weird little electrical gremlin, but we've fixed it and it's working fine now. And Riley will get to experience it. It's so funny. Oh man, it's so good. Definitely check out the Twitch channel if you haven't already, but I can't wait till he gets here. He's supposed to be here in a couple hours, I think. I just had a mini heart attack because the door just swung open right as I pushed stop on that clip, and it was a delivery guy delivering a package instead of, and I thought Riley was here early for some reason. I was like, dang it, he must have heard it. Anyways, that aside, we have a lot to get done. What I want to do first is pull the motor out. I've got to get a shelf, like a little cart, like a little workshop cart set up so that we can put all the parts in it as we disassemble it so we don't lose anything. Bag and tag is important. We don't want to get anything mixed up. So we're going to do that. We're going to tear through this thing and see what's up.
A few moments later.
All right, I've got everything set up, and I've even got another short block to disassemble after this one. I've got my tray here, which just has the cardboard in it for exhaust side, intake side, and I've got my Ziploc bags and all the tools and everything in this awesome SB Tools Sumo tool case. This is our portable one that we bring to FD rounds, and it is so handy just to have everything here that I can move around in a good bench space too. I know it's a little crowded right now, but it's got a lot of stuff up there that we're gonna end up needing for this anyways. So I'm gonna start tearing into this. I will get an engine stand later on once we start to break it down a little bit. But for now, on the pallet is all we kind of need for now. Just kind of start pulling it all down. Time for an update. I've stripped down pretty much everything in the head and we are ready to remove this. Very simple process. What I like to do is I have everything labeled in an exhaust. I have all my lifters in a bucket with some fresh oil. You can already see all of the old gunky oil kind of coming out of them, and that's really kind of cool. It's a good way to like just keep your lifters always bled. I will be manually bleeding these when they go back in though, I still do that. But for the most part, everything's stripped out. Everything will be getting cleaned in the ultrasonic cleaner. But for now, this is what I do. Every rocker will get its own individual bag with its shims. And that will just ensure that nothing gets mixed up and everything will get labeled. But while we're disassembling everything, I put it all in the cart like this, and I put all the little shims. You can kind of see it in its little cubby house under each rocker. It's kind of nice, right? You can see them there. I'll tuck those guys back in. But yeah, that's what I like to do to kind of keep everything in order. Fortunately, pretty much everything here is pretty well labeled. You can see the arrows on each side. The intake side has an I on there, and if you memorize these numbers, you know what goes where, but you can look that up online. So if ever you get your cam caps mixed up, you can always triple check that online. But for the most part, that's kind of it. The stock cams came out really nice. Everything's looking really good. Just looks like a motor that ran in an automatic car that didn't get a lot of oil changes, to be honest. Otherwise, not too bad. So we'll take out these two 10 mils here, which go into the front cover, into the oil pump, and then we'll take out the OEM head bolts, and then the head will lift off. So let's get that done. Ready to pull. We don't care about this anymore. Whole motor's getting pulled down. Alley-oop. Ooh. OEM head gasket. She's a virgin, man. Dude, this is like crazy. I don't think I've ever pulled an SR down that has an OEM gasket on it. And it looks amazing. Amazing. Wow. This is crazy. Never seen an OEM head gasket in such good condition come off an SR. Honestly, I've never pulled an OEM head gasket off an SR. So that's pretty freaking awesome. And then let's take a quick look on the back side of the head. Well, the inside. It's so dirty, this thing. Oh, beautiful. Dude, this looks so, like, new. What the hell? Okay. I found ourselves a big problem. Holy jeez. So let's take a quick look at the head. I'm really happy with what we've got here. It looks like we're going to be able to make a really good engine out of this. This is definitely, like, I would say there's a good, like, you know, $3,000 worth of good parts here. And the block is savable. Everything's good. The head's good. But what you want to notice is, see how this is like normally your detonation point on SRs, right? And you can almost see by the color of this what's been going on in the cylinders. You see that? Kind of like where you look at the coloring of spark plugs, and the same with the valves. You can see on this cylinder, this is really white. So this cylinder was running quite lean. You can actually run your finger over it and feel that that's a little rough and got a couple little kind of like almost look like little pinholes. That's detonation. These valves are quite white as well, and you can see a lot of the carbon is kind of burned off them. That's a good indication that this cylinder alone was running really lean. Most likely an injector issue. Because when we look over here, that's cylinder number 2. Cylinder number 2 piston is a little, how you going there? I don't know if you can see that too well, but see that? A little bit of the piston's missing. You can actually look down there and I can just see piston ring. The ring land's broken for sure. And it's not happy. It's not happy at all. So the piston's melted down. Now, what that means is our bore on this sleeve is gonna be shot. So what we're gonna do is rotate this nice and slow. I'm gonna get my flashlight out so you can see what's going on. Now, if we have a look here with the light, you can really see what's going on here. That's a big old yikes. So that's a full piston meltdown. You could probably bore these stock sleeves out to pull that in, but it would just be better. It's cheaper for me to just put new sleeves in, to be completely honest. They're so affordable in Japan, so yeah. Everything else kind of looks good. The only thing that, this had a bit of water in there, but I filled it up with WD-40 and oil to make sure like the bores didn't get rusty, and it all just wipes off, so that's a win. But yeah, this thing definitely, she got really hot, and then the aluminum gets kind of like melted down and pushed around and does that damage to your bore. You can see that there. It's honestly like, when I feel it with my hand, it's not too bad. It's definitely out of round. And most of that is aluminum baked on there. But yeah, I would not reuse these sleeves unless you went to the next level and it was okay. So that's what we're gonna probably leave that. We found the reason why this engine was at the junkyard. It definitely had lost compression in number 2 cylinder. Would have been running pretty weird, but this is nothing for me. I will have this motor with new sleeves, pistons, rods, and good to go very soon, and it won't cost me that much as well. So that's kind of nice. Luckily, all those kinds of parts here in Japan are fairly readily available and quite affordable, so that's awesome. I think you can get like a set of rods and pistons from HKS for like $1,500. So that's really not that bad at the end of the day. And that'll have this motor back up and running. But the sleeves and everything, the machine work, I'd say probably, maybe another $1,500 in that alone for sleeves and machine work. But it depends, how busy they are and how long it's going to take to get done. But I'm in no rush for this motor, so that's okay. What I'm really stoked about though is we got a really nice head. Obviously we're going to have to disassemble this and get it cleaned and check the valves and stuff. I don't think there'll be a problem. Everything looks really good. So that's a freaking win. That's a good head. These things are hard to find these days, so I'm stoked about that. Now, I got a good block. We got a good crank. Well, we don't know about the crank and everything yet. We will have to get to that, but we do know that this isn't a running engine. So, look, I bought this engine in unknown condition. The guy at the junkyard had no idea of the condition of it too. So he didn't sell it to me as a running good motor, but from what I was able to do by inspecting the motor on site, as well as sticking my little camera in there once it got here, was it looks like it's in really good condition. And it is, except for that. So otherwise, it's not bad. We did pretty good with this. We probably honestly can get away with using the stock sleeves and just go step it up to 86.5 and it'll probably be okay. So I'll send this off to, I might even just drop it off at Tomei, see what they think. Otherwise I'll drop it off to Okachan and it'll go to Jun and get a bunch of work done, and then we'll pick it up in like a month's time. I've put the short block on the stand, so now we can start stripping down everything on the front. We want to get that upper oil pan off so that we can see what's going on, get those pistons out so that the block is ready to be sent off. Perfect, dude, this was a freshie. This has never been opened. You can tell because I'll show you, there's some markings here, but let me sit this down over here. I'm just having a quick inspection, look in the upper oil pan, and I don't see any crazy material, which is good. Nothing's caught in the baffle in there. So that's a good sign. It's a really good sign. You'd usually see it caught up on this stuff here if there's any bad material in there. But we'll have a look in there. Let me get some more cardboard. Cardboard is your best friend. First kind of quick look over everything. It's looking really nice. We're obviously throwing this pickup in the bin because that's trash now. Got Skippy there. I wonder if anyone actually knows why that's there. I suspect probably because Australia had something to do with the castings of this. I don't know. But one thing that lets me know that this hasn't been opened since it was put together at Nissan in the factory over here is these blue markings here. This looks like maybe some hiragana. It's really hard to tell. But then also there's this green marking here, which I think I've only seen on like OEM blocks when they come from Nissan, but I don't know. Everything else I can see here looks good. I'm looking here. I can see that it's got the bearing numbers in there. That'll match up with the bearing numbers on the crank. and it should be good. This actually looks like a really good block because it's all 2s by the looks of it. Yeah, every single number's a 2. That's actually really rare. Anyways, for the most part, looks good. Gonna start disassembling this more, and let's get out number 2 piston and rod and have a look there. All right. Whoa. The piston just slid almost out of the block by itself. Let's pull out this cap. Yo, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'd reuse that bearing. That is absolutely beautiful. 100% would reuse that bearing. Let's see if we can pop out the piston. See if we can get away with this without too much work, because it just felt like it slid pretty much out all by itself. Oh yeah, it's just falling out. Got it. I've never had a piston cover. Oh, holy! Sheesh! Yeah, she had 0 compression in 2, all right. Holy carnage, man. The good news is everything's looking really good up here. The bad news is, I mean, the piston was really badly melted through. Full ringland failure, full meltdown. You can even see under here, the conrod has a bunch of aluminum kind of like sprayed onto it, which is kind of wild. It has its own layer of aluminum on there from it just melting and spraying through the holes at the piston there. I don't know if you can see the light through those holes there. It's pretty impressive, honestly. I've never seen an engine that I've disassembled with this much damage like that. I'm pretty impressed. I knew it was going to be bad when the moment I undid the rod, it kind of just dropped and nearly fell out of the bore by itself. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. That's pretty gnarly. All of these parts of the rings though is what kind of worries me, and that's probably why the bore is so messed up. I would say the aluminum itself, you know, it's quite soft and can push past a lot of that stuff, but the bore damage that we saw is probably all the rings like grinding up against it being locked and stuck. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not a big deal. We can bore this these sleeves out or put new sleeves in there quite affordably, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm gonna disassemble the rest of this, make sure we've got, you know, good crank and everything like that, and then we'll go from there. Taking a quick break from the SR because Riley has arrived. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Tired. Did a lot of driving today.
All right, well, come with me.
Okay.
I worked a little bit on your rear end.
Oh.
I took a hammer to it.
Okay.
Does it look any better? One side looks better, I think.
This is a little bit, yeah, actually.
It's a little nicer, right?
Pretty good. I mean, this side, you need like the power of a strong Italian man named Marco to fix.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
why don't you just open the trunk and have a look?
of course you did.
Lift it up. It works. I fixed it. But I also borrowed the horn from the 33.4. It's pretty good, right?
Okay, so what was this? Okay, cool.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. There's just, for some reason, no signal coming from the front.
Oh, yeah, because this.
Yeah, so I just hard rewired the relay
Okay.
to be direct from that.
No, as long as it doesn't kill the battery, yeah, cool.
No, it doesn't kill the battery, so you meant?
You're not getting the horn back.
That's like your security in case someone goes to open your trunk.
Oh shit, free tools? Wait,
It's pretty good, right?
I should probably refilm that without swearing for YouTube.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Like if somebody's, oh, free tools! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Alarm system.
Yeah, so that was fun last night.
Thank you,
It's fixed.
I guess. Thank you, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a completely bare block. This is ready to be sent off, and I have to say, I am amazed. When I said that this looked like it had never been opened and was a fresh, a block that came from Nissan that no one ever messed with, and then somehow it just failed on number 2, probably because of an injector clogging issue or something, I wasn't joking, because everything, every bearing, everything looks amazing. There's like pretty much nowhere, like just the usual kind of stuff that you expect to see. There's no damage. Did the thrust washers just minimal wear, no scratches, just like marks. Like look at this one. This one's practically new. What? This is crazy. All of the bearings for the mains look amazing. There's a bit of side load on that one, but that's usual for the rear one. From clutch, well, actually, auto trans in this. I guess it's still normal. Still, front one's got that little bit of front wear where the pulley sits. That's usual, that's normal. But every other one, normal. Looks great. There's no... The crank is perfect. The crank has no scratches, no gouges. It looks absolutely amazing, like a brand new OEM one would. Absolutely nothing. This is like literally, I want to give this thing this is pretty much a virgin like bottom end, head, everything. Nothing was messed with on this. Stock cams, all that kind of stuff. The only thing is most likely that injector failed on number 2 that caused the Chernobyl meltdown. Otherwise, we got off great. Like this is actually amazing. I reckon if we really wanted to, we could probably bore those stock ones out, but I'm not going to because it's just so affordable for me to put bigger sleeves in, put the big Jun ones in, and it'll be good. Maybe this will be my first complete Tomei engine. I won't go 2.2 and do a stroked crank, but I'll do a 2.1 or something and just have this thing sitting on the shelf ready to go. But I do have a few friends right now that are looking for some SR engines to be built because they're going to be doing swaps from NA to turbo and their spec S's. So I'll get this thing prepped and ready, and I'll get this one prepped and ready too. This one's going to need some big sleeves. Put some big Jun sleeves in and we'll save this block. But this already has HKS pistons and rods in it, and I'm hoping maybe if we're super lucky, we might be able to reuse those pistons and rods in something. So the thought process is this thing gets the big sleeves. Maybe we see how much material we need to take away from the stock sleeves in this one, and maybe the pistons and rods are good in that one, and they just go into there. Head gasket, head back on, put some cams in there. We got ourselves a really nice 2.1, because I believe those are overboard. So maybe 86.5 just from rough measurements. Could be even 87. I don't think so though. Be weird, but anyways, we'll measure all that and check it all out later. But there's a chance we might be able to save this with the sleeves that are in there and take the rods and pistons from there, assemble that, and then this one could become the Tomei one with the big freaking, sleeves, and we do a 2.2 Tomei, maybe? Question mark?
All right, guys. So I've read the comments of my last thing in the video, and a lot of you suggested that I get a gimbal to film with. So I've got a gimbal now. So Sam, how's it going? How's this project going? I'm filming with a gimbal now.
They asked for this.
They asked for this. Unfortunately, I'm able to take things extremely literally. In the trash outside. I think it was like buried in your stuff over there and they just yeeted it.
Dude, I used that in like my first year of YouTube.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But now I can film with a gimbal, Sam. Look.
I used to use a GoPro.
Oh, Sam, I can't film with a gimbal anymore.
You broke my gimbal.
I'm sorry, guys. It's only shaky cam from here on. No, that's not actually true. I picked up a little tiny action camera so I can film little things, and it's got built-in stabilization. All right, see you guys later.
Well, I've gotten everything tidied up and the block is ready to get dropped off for some work, and I'm probably going to get the head done as well. I mean, it's got to get shaved no matter what, so it'll be good to get the valves and everything checked to make sure everything's good from number 2, because a fair bit of aluminum and piston ring material probably did go through it, so it's a good thing to check. I still can't get over this. This looks crazy. Very wild. That's what you call a full Chernobyl on cylinder 2. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Like I said, everything else looks good. This is still a lot of money's worth of stuff here. We definitely got a really good deal here. Obviously, it would have been crazier if there was absolutely nothing wrong with it, but you know, it was a junkyard motor. There was a reason why it was there. I knew that that was going to probably be the case, but everywhere I looked and how I looked at the motor and whatnot, there was no signs that showed that that was an issue other than the fact that it was dumped in a junkyard with no oil pan. So all of that though, this will turn into a fresh engine and it'll be worth a lot of money for minimal investment. So that is something I'm stoked about. All that aside though, I'm gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was pretty much here by myself for most of the day. Riley just got here to do some work on his car, which is awesome. What do you think of your rear tail hatch?
I want to keep it, even though you're not going to let
No, I'm not gonna let you. I need that horn for the Skyline. we can get a different one if you want. We can do the same thing. That'd be funny.
Train horn.
Train horn, dude. That would be diabolical. Anyways, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to having some time off tomorrow with the fam, but I will see you all in the next one. Peace.